Hey guys, welcome to the DevDojo journey. This is episode 11 and today is July 17th, 2022. So in this series, I'm basically open about building DevDojo in public, including all the revenue numbers and high weeks, low weeks, and just completely transparent about building DevDojo to hopefully 10K a month. So in each video, I have three basic sections, which include the stats and then some updates, and then we finish it off with some questions. So let's go ahead and jump into the stats. Okay, so we are at 61,855 users who have signed up for a free DevDojo account, and that's up about 600. So it was about 500 before a week. Now we're slowly increasing to about 600. And let's take a look at the active paying users. We're currently at 685, and that is a standstill. So that is what we were at last week. Kind of a bummer to see, but I guess that's just the way it goes. We basically, there were some users who canceled and new users, but basically we were at 685 last week. Hopefully we'll see these numbers increase after we release some new products, which I'm going to be getting into here shortly. And we are at 6,581 for a 30 month to date. So I think that is down about 150, and I think this number is just going to kind of fluctuate. But hopefully, again, like I said, hopefully this will increase as release a few new products. Okay, the analytics is about the same, 26,000 a week. Still pretty cool. We were at about 25,000 not too long ago, but to see that we have 26,000 new users coming to the site every week is super, super cool. Okay, let's go ahead and jump into some of the updates. Okay, so as some of you may know, I have been working on a new version of my Tailwind CSS page creator, and you can see that it's here in front of us. What I have been doing this week is kind of like bug testing. I feel like everything's pretty much ready to go. However, there are some bugs, and we have let a few people in to try out the new version. Part of kind of testing it out is I'm actually building some pages using Tails for DevDojo specifically. So let me go ahead and visit the new homepage, which is going to be possibly released with the new version of Tails as well. So you can see here that I'm kind of rebranding this to be more of like a product first than a community first. And you can see that it says the creative platform for developers, and then it says crafted with Tails. So this whole page was built using Tails, and then I'm basically pulling it in from the API. And you can see up here the menu, kind of got a nice products drop down. You can check out all the products, and then you can also go to the community. So then you can go to the community home, questions, and basically kind of what the site is today is just the community portion of the site. And then we have the pricing and the about. So I also wanted to show you, this is super cool. You'll be able to go to the community. So like before, you could go to the main community page and you could check out all the current blog posts, but then you can also go to, we're going to have a dedicated dashboard. This is going to be like the user dashboard. You come here, you can add some new posts. You can obviously toggle dark and light mode, and that is also going to translate whenever you go back to the community. Then that is going to be either light or dark. You can change that right here, and then it will be reflected whenever you visit the dashboard. So like I said, all of this has been built using the new version of Tails. Let me go ahead and open up Tails real quick. And I'll also show you that I was creating some login and register pages. So I'm going to launch the app. You can see here that I have this login page here in front of us, and I actually designed this, and then I'm going to use it on the DevDojo. So I can come here, I can check out the homepage, and this is what the homepage currently looks like. I have designed that custom menu, and I have that as a blade partial. So that's why you're not seeing the menu here. I'm basically pulling in the designs, everything besides the menu. Then we have the login and the sign up page here. And this is super cool because I am actually, if I open up the code for this, you can see let me just reload real quick. Okay. And if I open up the code for this login page, you can see that we have down here, we're actually using session. So if session has a message, we're also using the CSRF token. And that is because I have built a package specifically for Laravel. So you can actually add some of your Blade content inside of this HTML editor, and it will translate when you import it into your Laravel application. So if I visit github.com/thedevdojo/tails, this is going to be the new Tails Laravel package. So you basically can pull this into your project, you create a new page with Tails, and then you can load it just by saying Tails get about, or you can also include it in a Blade partial. So if you're a Laravel developer, building Tailwind CSS websites in your app is going to be super easy. I'm super pumped about that. I think a lot of other people are going to leverage this as well. And let me show you the login page. So if I go to the application, view dashboard, it's actually too many steps to the logout, so I may change the way that things work out. But you can see now that we have the login page here, and then we also have the register page. And this is all being pulled in from Tails. So I'm super excited about that. It looks like that we're probably going to do this little kind of like redesign, rebrand of DevDojo as we release the new version of Tails. So more info on that to come, but I'm thinking that it may actually turn into next month that we release this. I'm going to do a whole video, do a product hunt launch. I really want it to be polished, and I want it to come out well whenever I release this new version of Tails. So that's it for the updates. Let's jump into a few questions. Okay, so a few questions that we had from last week. Owen is asking if it was possible, it would be awesome if there was a drop-down builder for Tails. I think later on down the road, that probably would be a good thing to have. We'll have a bunch of menus that you can, templates that you can drop into Tails, and they'll have an automatic like drop-down, builder or automatic drop-down menu, kind of like on DevDojo. But probably we'll go into more detail with adding more drop-down customizations and allowing you to create some really cool mega menus and drop-down menus. So yes, absolutely. Question, if you had to choose between finishing Tails or redesigning DevDojo, what would you choose? Well, if you just seen the last section, it looks like that I chose both. So we're gonna do this little redesign as we also build out as we release the new version of Tails. Okay, next question. Ryan asks, have you looked into seeing if you could work with the Tailwind team to allow users to connect their Tailwind UI account to prove ownership of Tailwind UI and then gain access to the Tailwind UI components? So I'm sure most people watching this know about Tailwind UI. It is the official Tailwind CSS component library. So they have components and templates, just like really, really beautiful, well done templates and components. So they're saying if you could tie this into Tails, and then maybe you could, in the menu select hero sections, and you could just drag in this to your design. And, so you could basically build out your website using the Tailwind UI in the Tails application. That actually would be something that I might be interested in checking out. I think that's a really good suggestion. Adam Wathen is the creator of Tailwind and Tailwind UI. So maybe I can reach out to him, and maybe in a couple months, maybe that could be a possibility to use these components inside of Tails. So thanks for the question and the suggestion. Let's see. Ro asked, nice video. Just a quick question. How do you use Livewire as a single page application? Well, Livewire actually functions like a single page app out of the box. So once you click on a button, it will automatically do an AJAX request to the server and then give you back the response. A lot of times if you build out a Laravel application, every single time you click a button, it'll do a new request. But using Livewire, you can actually create the single page application with ease. So if you have any more questions, you want me to elaborate on that more, I can definitely do that. But Livewire actually makes creating a single page application super easy, and that's just how it functions out of the box. Let's see. So Rishi is asking, making DevDojo Pro Tools support more frameworks as opposed to just the tall stack. I think this is a definite possibility. I feel like I will be able to get a wider audience and more people to use Tails and my DevDojo products. Right now, Tails, you can use that in any framework. I think what I want to keep is making sure that it's just HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and of course, Tailwind. I think once you say, like, support only exporting React or only Vue or Svelte or, Alpine JS, I want to keep it broader and just say it's HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and Tailwind, and then you can export it and then import it into your project. But I may have more, direct framework integrations later on down the road. Let's see, I think that might be it. Yeah, and then Zach was also saying, I really appreciate you sharing your journey so openly. Yeah, dude, I appreciate your comment, and I appreciate anyone watching this. It's kind of just a nice way for me to keep myself accountable and to just have some fun creating these videos and hopefully get better at creating these as well. Let's see. So he said, last week I showed this beta of a product called Midjourney, which allows you to create these images with AI. He said he doesn't have an invite yet, but last week I actually got an invite to this new project called DALL-E 2, and this is one of the more popular AI systems that will create realistic images just based off of a description. Let me go ahead and show you some of this. This one is actually, I like DALL-E 2 better than Midjourney. So let me go ahead and say 3D render of a corgi using a hula hoop. I don't know if I spelled that right. Digital art. Let's go ahead and see what this generates. Okay, so you can see this is pretty cool. Like, I just came up with that description and we get these awesome images of a corgi doing a hula hoop. Just amazing stuff. They do say in their terms, like, to be careful because you can upload an image and it can create variations of that image. They want to make sure that you're not conflicting with any copyrights. But yeah, check out DALL-E 2, sign up for the beta. This is just amazing software. You're creating images that have never been created before just with a description. Super cool. That was kind of just a extra thing that I wanted to talk about at the end of this video. But I hope you guys have a great weekend. Hope you have a great week next week, and I will talk to you in next week's video.